Hello, welcome to DM Talk. I'm Henry Knight. Tonight we have a great episode. We're talking about chaotic evil. What is chaotic evil? Neutrality, different alignments. But specifically tonight we're going to talk about chaotic evil. What is chaotic evil? Well, let's take a look here. Let's go over alignments first. Alignment. A typical creature in a game world has an alignment, which broadly describes its moral and personal attitudes. Alignment is a combination of two factors. One identifies morally good, evil, or neutral, and the other describes attitudes towards society and order. Lawful, chaotic, or neutral. Thus, 9 distinct alignments define the possible combinations. These brief summaries of the 9 alignments describe the typical behavior of a creature that is an alignment. Individuals might vary significantly from the typical behavior, and few people are perfectly and consistently faithful to precepts of their alignment. We have lawful good. Creatures can be counted on to do the right thing as expected by society. Gold dragons and paladins are typically lawful good. Neutral good. Folks do the best they can to help others according to their needs. Many celestials are neutral good. Chaotic good. Creatures act as their conscience directs, with little regard for what others expect. Copper dragons and unicorns are typically chaotic good. Lawful neutral. Individuals act in accordance with law, tradition, or personal codes. Many wizards, monks are lawful neutral. Neutral is an alignment of those who prefer to steer clear of moral questions and don't take sides, doing what seems best at the time. Druids are traditionally neutral, as are typical townsfolk. And last but not least, I will stop it right here at chaotic neutral. Actually, no, we're going to continue on. Chaotic neutral creatures follow their whims, holding their personal freedoms above all else. Many rogues and bards are chaotic neutral. Lawful evil. Creatures methodically take what they want with limits of the code of tradition, loyalty, or order. Devils and blue dragons are typically lawful evil. Neutral evil is an alignment of those who do whatever they can get away with without compassion or qualms. Chaotic evil. Last but not least. Finally, creatures act with violence, spurred by their greed, hatred, or bloodlust. Demons and red dragons are typically chaotic evil. What does that mean for you, folks? Well, like I said before, and I'll say it again. As a DM, you can allow alignment. You can allow alignment. I don't know why I'm saying alliance. I'm sorry. You could allow all those things. It all depends on what your party wants in session 0, what you want. As a group, you make a decision. To me, I like playing games with not alliance, alignment. I love alignment. I think alignment is brings a lot of character to the game. It really gives the game ambiance. It's all part of it. It gives the game compassion, love, hatred, evil, that emotion. And I understand that you can do that without playing with an alignment, but imagine an alignment having a screenplay, and you're reading the screenplay and you're following the script. Now, it doesn't mean that you are following a script per se, but an alignment is that you have to follow those guidelines. And to me, it's really gives encouragement. It really gives you a basis on what is good what is evil. There is a balance. You know, you don't have an alignment. Let's say you don't want to. You're playing a game without an alliance. I keep saying alliance. You're playing a game that does not have an alignment, or you're not playing with an alignment. So what does that mean? You're going to teeter on good and bad and all that. Well, mostly the reason why people play with an alignment is because you pick a character you're comfortable with when you roll your character up and so forth. I like playing paladins, the Boy Scout. Generally, I play good characters. And what alignment is, it gives you that, encompasses altogether how you are going to run that character. When you're not playing with an alignment, you're just kind of throwing it out there. You're changing. You're doing good and bad because you want to. So you really don't have anything to follow. There's no basis. You just do it as you go. Nothing wrong with that. It's just an idea that can help the game flow, grow, and make something unique. Because when you have an alignment, believe it or not, it's difficult. If you're playing a lawful good paladin, you need to look at the guidelines of what lawful good is. If you're not looking at that definition of an alignment, you're generally going to do the right thing in society. So if you're playing lawful good, that's what you're going to do. Paladins have a code as well that they have to follow. Same concept. If you're playing a druid, if you're playing a sorcerer, if you have no alignment, you're just going to do whatever. You're going to play good some days and you're going to play bad in other days. I'm not saying that that's not fantasy. Fantasy, NPCs, players, it happens. But what's specifically I want to talk about chaotic evil. Chaotic evil is misunderstood because you're going to say, oh, evil is evil. Well, is it? Is evil evil? Yes, that's the definition. Right there, the definition of what chaotic evil is. Specifically, you're going to do violence, you're greedy, you're very hateful, you blow up, bloodlust, rip things apart, all that type of thing. So you're going to be compared to a demon. Now, is that good? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that you can't run a game with chaotic evil characters. Yes, you can. When you run a game with chaotic evil players, know that you just don't go, well, I have a whole bunch of murder hobos. As much as folks want to see that in a game, it can be fun every now and then, but there's got to be a reason for that. Even the most chaotic and evil individual has motives. Why is that individual doing what he's doing? There had to be at some point in his or her life that individual was good. Maybe his town was destroyed by an army. Maybe he was good before, and as his town was destroyed, he lost hope, went into depression, and then took the law into his own hands. Every story has a beginning, and at the beginning of a chaotic evil character, know that if the story is good enough, that story will flow just as much as a lawful good campaign. Just like heroes. What brought the party? What brought that individual to do bad deeds? Those are the concepts, the ideas that as a DM and as a group, you discuss this again in session 0 and say, hey, look, maybe the chaotic evil concept is good for a one-shot. Maybe a mini story or whatever. But either way, it could work. There's a lot of DMs that I know and a lot of DMs that I've read online that will not touch it. And I get it. Nobody wants murder hobos. Nobody wants people to go into town and murder people because they're doing it, because they're evil, chaotic evil. But what if, now hear me out, guys. What if they went into town and they murdered everybody in town? They burnt it to the ground. And then you bring in consequences. You bring in a rival, another army, another faction comes in. There's a war going on. There's reason why this group of individuals are going into town and burning it down. Bring that reason into your story. I know that there was this gentleman, I'm not going to mention his name, but his gentleman was online and he was talking about DMing, and he was saying, I only do story-wise. If we're going to do a dungeon crawl or whatever it is, very little story. I'm just going to write down a little bit of a plot or just something very tiny, and that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. But me, if you hear my dog in the background, she's whining. So, excuse me. A little bit of ambiance I guess, right? So I was saying, so the DM was saying that I lost what I was saying. The DM was saying that the problem is that he will not touch certain things. He will not touch certain aspects of a chaotic evil character. I was getting into that. I started with it shortly, and I'm going to go forward. He was saying that specifically that when you have a story, I'm going all over the place. The story is this. So what was he saying? Yeah, I lost it. It happens. Brain fart. So the DM was saying in the beginning that the story is very little, and he just does the treasure, does the combat, and that's it. That's his game. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I have a problem with it. I'd rather have a story. There's got to be a story. I got to have a story. Got to have something that a rise and fall. Why are they going to that dungeon? Very simple. You have folks in the other side of town that need a group. They don't have to be heroes. You know, we're talking, again, our topic tonight is chaotic evil. They don't have to be heroes. They just need adventurers. They need somebody to go into that dungeon to find the treasure, find the missing kids, whatever. Find whatever those townspeople need. Those are the things that you really have to think about. And just like the DM said online, he brought out, he says, hey, I don't write stories. I just do very little, and we go off of that. Maybe he's really good at improvising. There's nothing wrong with that. Every DM has their own style. I'm not knocking them, but I disagree with them. I'd rather have some form of plot and go from there. Very little is okay for some people, but for me, I like to have as much as possible. That way when things happen, you at least have something for the group, not just coming up with anything out of your head, which sometimes can be difficult. Like for me, for example, my dog was whining in the background and I tried to convey a thought and I lost it because I was worried about her. She's fine. She's old. She's on the couch and she's, she whines. She wants to get down from the couch. I have to pick her up. Her hind legs it's hurting her. She's got arthritis and, you hear her. So I'm worried about her, but either way, let's continue on. So, chaotic evil. Chaotic evil can be done. The group of individuals, characters, they went into the tavern. They got a mission. The people want a certain treasure or whatever in the cave. Maybe something happened to the town. And they'll do it. Chaotic evil doesn't mean that you go to every town and just start killing everybody randomly. As good as people, because, I played with a bunch of folks who love doing that. And murder hoboing is boring as shit. It is. Murder hobos is boring. It's cool in the beginning. After that, it's just boring. It's like, come on, guys. No. There has to be a spark. When you light a match, you get a spark, right? You have a lighter, get a spark. There's got to be something. You need to bring that life into your story. And chaotic evil, there's hatred. There's so much that encompasses the chaotic evil alignment that is just as interesting as lawful good. Lawful good, there's guidelines. Well, there's guidelines for chaotic evil too. What if the chaotic evil person is having issues being evil? Maybe that rage that person has brought him to that point. But one day, he may see a little girl or a little boy in town. A slave may be hurt, alone in the back alley, or running away from somebody chasing the little boy. And that sparks a memory. That memory opens up. And that chaotic evil individual remembers his childhood, remembers the pain and suffering that he went through. Or she. Those are the things you have to think about. I mean, it makes a cool story. You remember the show Gladiator? Remember that? Blood and Sand. Wonderful show, by the way. And that individual had a story. What brought him to that point? He wasn't a killer, but he had to be, because he was a slave. He was taken. They wanted to break him. They didn't. His will wasn't broken. He fought hard to continue on. That's the things. Those are the plot points for a good show, for a good story. As a DM, you have to look at what you want in the story. And as I gave an example, Gladiator, Blood and Sand. Great show, and I will mention it again because it was good. It's an older show, but that show, I'm telling you, it's one of those things that you need to see. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Gladiator alone is one hell of a story. You could have a character that can be like the Gladiator. You can do that. You You want to play with an alignment? Play with an alignment. You don't want an alignment? Maybe you're thrown in a coliseum type of thing. And maybe you were a slave. Maybe you were trapped. Maybe you were singled out. And that past brought you to who you are now. That past made you the fiend that is you now. Those are the things you got to think about. Don't just say, I'm going to go into town and murder everybody. I mean, it's great to have fun and do that every now and then, but no, it doesn't make any sense. To me, I like playing lawful good, because lawful good, they have, you go into town, you want to save people. Those are the things that I like doing. I like saving people. As a kid, I've always wanted to be a hero. Always wanted to be like a Superman or stuff like that. A Boy Scout, right? Those are the things that you as an individual have to understand when you make a character. Bring those things in. Oh, I want to be a hero. I want to be I want to play this evil character, but he's not really evil. He's just has a convoluted past. He's got a really messed up life, and I want to convey that in the game. Great concept. Those are the things that I want in my games. I don't want just a piece of paper with no emotion, nothing. Role-playing is about emotion. Role-playing is about role-playing, improv. Be ready at any moment, any time. Don't just look at your paper. Boom. Say it, do it. That's role-playing. So when you create a character and you pick chaotic evil, know that it's not for any new people, any new players. A new player should pick neutral. A new player should even pick lawful good. There's the extremes to each side of the spectrum. But it's easier to be good and harder to be chaotic evil. Because chaotic evil, and I've said this before on the opposite side, I've said it where it's hard to be good and easy to be bad. But if you're looking at the other side of the spectrum, what if you have to explain why you're chaotic evil? If you want to play a chaotic evil character in my game, you have to explain why you want to play this character. What made this character who he is? What made him? Give me a plot point. Give me a plot, something to go on. Your character's background to help you. Give me, say like I said before, a gladiator, or maybe he was bad in the beginning. He never was good. But then as he went along, he starts holding back more and more. Because all the wrongs that he's done throughout his life, he noticed that it doesn't mean anything anymore. Killing, maiming, pillaging, all that stuff doesn't mean anything anymore. His emotion is gone. And he's jealous of other individuals, other people that have emotion, that are happy, that are living the good life. He wants that, but it enrages him because he can't have it, or he doesn't know how to have it. That's a deranged way of telling a story. But that's emotion. That's conflict. Those are the things that makes a story good. It doesn't have to be complex. It can be very little and then open up. It can be as little as I had a bad past. I cannot talk tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me. Forgive me. But make a character that, like I said, very little, he or she had a bad past. That's it. Tell a DM that. Had a bad past. Okay, so if you're going to tell me that as a player, I'm going to go ahead and expand. What can we create that's a bad past? What about you killed the wrong person? The person happened to be a governor of a town, a well-known governor, popular, good, but the governor hired an assassin to kill you because you killed his son. Granted, it was an accident, but he doesn't care. Accidents don't happen, especially to politicians. So he sends an assassin to kill you. And he failed. So now you were not a bad guy, but things happen. You got into this web of lies and web of deceit. They blame you for a murder you didn't commit, or you did commit it. It was an accident. Nobody cares about that. So either way, that's brushed away, and all they care is you are the murderer. So now you're fighting for your life. And the story is you're fighting for your life, you're running away from that town, and you meet another group in another town, another city, whatever. You meet a group, and that group moves on with you. They like you, but they're not very good people, the people you've met. They happen to be thieves, they happen to be pirates. They're just misunderstood individuals. So you rubbed off on them, and you like them as well, get along, you have your own clique. That group becomes their own evil. They become their own wicked party. Let's say a wicked party. So they go from that city and they make a name for themselves. They start stealing, they start pillaging, they start doing things. But as you grow as an individual, you understand in the back of your head of what happened to you. And then something clicks in as you go to pillage one city with a group. You lose it. You change your mind. You change your whole ideology of things. Your ideology, everything is not what it was before. You don't understand what's going on. You're confused. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Those are the things that you have to look at. So what do? All right, let's move on. So now, chaotic evil. In a party, you're also going to meet other alignments. And now I'm talking about a game that has alignment heavy groups. So let's say you meet somebody who's chaotic good. And according to this, these individuals, they act on their conscience. So if their conscience tells them, hey, this person is giving me the heebie-jeebies, that person, that individual with that particular alignment is not going to like you. It's always going to have a third eye. That eye that person is going to look at you from afar. Always keeping an eye out for you. What does that mean? It means, hey, it brings some form of rivalry to the story. Those are the things that in a campaign or one shot that brings life to a story. And if you don't have that, why bother picking the alignment? Again, I'm old school. I love alignments. I'm not going to I'm not going to go away from them at all. Alignments are a wonderful thing. I think, like I said before, alignments give off a sense of love, hate, all those things, courage, strength, how strong you are, how courageous you are, all those things. Alignments bring out so much. Yeah, you don't have to run a game without having an alliance. Here I go with alliance. Alignment. Excuse me. I cannot get over alliance. I don't know why. I must be thinking of space, not fantasy. So I apologize. So you have two things that you can do. Number one, you meet other members in the party, other groups, and they are different alignments if they role play them right. Look, like I said, it's a script. You're lawful good, you're chaotic evil, you're neutral. And neutral, you kind of balance. You can play what you want. So you're saying, oh, Henry, alignments are stupid. Why bother? I just told you why they're not stupid. They're not stupid at all. I think it's stupid not to have them. It's all part of Dungeons and Dragons. Alignments bring ambiance to your story. It does. It does. It's the beauty of it. That emotion. He's courageous. He's a beautiful thing happened. Why did that individual destroy that town? Well, there's a reason why he destroyed that town. Let's find out. Let's tell his or her story. Oh, you can do that without alignments. No. Some people can play without alignments. Some people can't play with alignments. And there's nothing wrong with that. You pick no alignment or alignment, period. So now, if you're playing with, let's say you're playing without alignments, right? And you have a spell. Your spell is ward off evil and good, right? Detect evil and good. Here's where I get people. I always get them at this. All right. According to the spell, it says, for the duration, if there is an aberration of celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Similarly, as you know, if there is a place of object within 30 feet of you, he has been magically consecrated or desecrated. The spell can permeate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone. Okay, we know that. Detect evil and good. So you have 30 feet. So what's the point of being good, right? If you have no alignment at all, which is bullshit, you're gonna say, no. You're playing that group of nasty individuals, but they have no alignment. I'm using this spell, detect evil and good, at 30 feet. What do? Oh wait, they did something wrong. You're evil. Oh wait. What I'm trying to say is look, if there is a spell, and there is a spell that detects evil and good, and you're evil clearly, but you have no alignment, then why bother doing everything? Honestly, why bother doing everything? If you're evil, if you're playing evil, but you have no alignment, but you're playing evil. Think about it. You have no alignment, but you're playing evil. And all of a sudden you turn to good and back and forth. That's not how it works. It's you're being, you're making it easy for everyone else. That's all it is. Here's protection from evil and good. The protection grants several benefits. Creatures of those types have disadvantage. We know that. The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. So you're telling me if you're not playing any alignment, right? And you're playing both sides, this spell, protection from evil and good, will it work on you? That's where I draw the line and say, bullshit. Because when you role play, when you create a character, what character do you want to be? I want to be a rogue. Okay, what's your alignment? I don't want to play alignments. Fine. What does a rogue do? What does a rogue do? What makes a rogue? Right. He steals, right? He takes shit from people. Takes a bag of gold. He goes into town, stealthily sneaks, hides, all that stuff. So a person who sneaks and hides all the time, are you telling me they're good? Oh, that can be stealing from the poor, right? Or stealing from the rich, like a Robin Hood. In most cases, in a story, a plot, yes. But we're not talking about a plot. We're talking just everything's bland. You're not playing in alignment. All right, so you're going here and you're saying, okay, so this guy, this cleric casts a spell, protection from evil and good. You just killed somebody. You have a gold pouch. 50 gold coins in this pouch. You have it at your side. What do? So the cleric, he casts protection from evil and good. Will this work? Charm. A charmed creature can attack a charmer or target charmer with harmful abilities or magical effects. Again, the rogue is evil. He's bad. Or he just did an evil act. But according to this is a ward. And a ward has disadvantages, against attacks. Again, a ward. But according to this, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. Okay, so explain the fiend part. What is a fiend? So now we're going to have to break down the specifics on how does that spell work. Okay, because if you look at the definition, a fiend has multiple meanings, including a cruel, wicked person or someone who is very interested in something else. It can also be used to describe an evil spirit or a demon. Remember that. Now, if you look at the definition of chaotic evil, creatures act with arbitrary violence, spurred by their greed, hatred, or bloodlust. Demons and red dragons are typically chaotic evil. That says it all. Doesn't it? It says it all. So if you're playing a character with no alignment and you do something evil, that act, because you're doing things that are off the chart evil during the game, And most likely, you're going to do it again and again and again. So why not just play the alignment, chaotic evil? See what I'm saying? You cannot change from one to another. Let me rephrase that. I'm not saying you can't. You can role play it the other way around because you want to do deception. You want to do deceive. You want to deceive people. You want to be the slickster in the group. That's fine. But know this, if you have a lawful good cleric, someone who's good, doesn't have an alignment in this game. Now, I'm going to bring that out. And this cleric is going to use this ward, protection from evil and good. So if this individual is crossing paths with this cleric, do you think that this spell will work? Or this ward? Personally, it'll work. In my opinion, it'll work. And let me tell you why. Because the person did an evil act. What is a definition of a fiend? And I'm not talking about D&D terminology, what I just read of what the definition of a fiend is. That evil act is what will stop you in your tracks against this protection from evil and good. If you don't want to have an alignment and you are role playing like you have an alignment, then why not just pick an alignment? You're just being ridiculous. You really are. You can't be neutral. No one is neutral 100% of the time. In real life, nobody's neutral. Oh yeah. You're either a little bit good or a little bad at sometimes. You could swing both ways, emotion-wise. That'll mess you up. Because every person has their own personality, who you are. Oh, Joe is genuinely a great person, nice guy. Samantha, she's horrible. She's always mean to me. She's always mean to everybody. She's alone. She doesn't want to talk to anybody. That is a personality. And when you're describing a personality in your games, having an alignment will bring that out more. Having no alignment is, like I just said, describe neutral. And how I said it's nobody's 100% neutral, because they're not. They're either good, bad, neutral. No, it just doesn't happen. Everyone has their own thing. But that thing, when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, should be in alignment. When you make your character, you pick an alignment. You know? There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's great. It is a combination of many things. A behavior that is brought out in the game when you convey how sorry you are, how beautiful you are, how scared you are, when you convey all these things in the game. An alignment can do that well by you having some form of a script. And I'm not talking, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about a screenplay. I'm talking about just a little script of, hey man, I'm playing chaotic neutral. Creatures follow their whims, holding their personal freedoms above everyone else. That is cool shit. You're holding your freedoms above anyone else. Chaotic neutral. When you play that alignment, it brings out that character. I don't want to go in that dungeon. Screw that. I don't want to go in that dungeon. I don't want to be in that dungeon. I don't want to travel. I don't want to travel. I want to stay here. I want to do things on my own. I want to, on my time, I want to have some ale first. I want to chill here. Then I might go with you guys. If you don't do that, give that alignment a chance. Give those alignments a chance. If you don't do that, it's really gonna crumble your campaign or story. And let me tell you why. When you don't have a guideline, a little script on how you're going to run your character, you could say, and the alignments help you out. Let's go back to neutral. Here goes my dog again. Let's go back to neutral. Is the alignment of those who prefer to steer clear of moral question and don't take sides. You don't take sides. Remember I said how it's unrealistic? There's no, I'm just going to be neutral and everything. Got to pick a side, good or evil. That's just me. Neutrality is boring. But there's people who are like, yeah, I'm just going to be neutral. I can be good when I want to and be bad when I want to. Because I am not at the whim of, I have no standards. I just going to be just neutral. I'm just going to stand here and watch everybody while the town burns, the city burns, and they're going to ask me, and I'm like, I didn't do it. I didn't choose to be on this team. They forced me to do it. They forced my hand, but I chose not to because it's none of my business. Those are the things that that you guys have to do and understand in your campaigns and your story is players are going to do their own thing. And even if they have an alignment, they're going to do their own thing anyway. So as you have a group and you play with that group more and more, you're going to realize that those alignments naturally come out. He's a little feisty. Oh, he's always playing the Boy Scout. This guy likes playing a little bit of chaotic neutral. This guy likes, you have a roadmap to a story, a roadmap to that emotion, those things that make a campaign good, and alignments make a campaign great. Those are the things that makes a story what it is. Not, oh, nobody's picking an alignment. Why? Oh, to make it interesting, balance. It's not balance. You know what it is? It's boredom. Because you don't want to challenge yourself. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Challenging yourself. Chaotic neutral, chaotic evil is a lot harder to play than lawful good. Oh, it's easier to be bad than it is good. You can be good. You can help people. A carriage flipped over. You aided those people in the carriage. You helped so many people that you became known throughout the realm. So if you have no alignment per se, right? And you're helping people, what does that make you? Lawful good. So you're saying after months of helping people, you got sick of it, and then you're going to turn around and burn a city? Now, as a player, you're just being a jerk because to me, without playing in an alignment, you're just going to say, my game, my rules. Really? Is it the way it works? That's why you have a session 0 and you talk to everybody and say, look, we're going to play with alignments. I want to pick lawful good. I want to put chaotic Neutral, I want to pick, okay, you have a plan. When you don't pick an alignment, there is no plan. The characters are going to be good half the time and then be bad half the time. Oh, but you can say, Henry, you're wrong. That is your right. Yeah, it might be their right, but they're still doing it. Then why not choose an alignment? Why not choose an alignment? Honestly, it's there and simple. Pick it. It's part of the game. That's just my opinion. The game is already big enough. It's already mainstream. So why not just create the character like it is, pick your alignment, and go from there? Chaotic evil will make a wonderful story if done well. Create your beginning, your middle, and the end. What brought that character to that point? Oh, they murdered the whole town. Really? Is that all you're going to do? Let's tell a story on what happened to that character. How did that character get there? That's how you run a chaotic evil campaign. You bring a story, tell everyone how that person got there. Don't just say, oh, they just murdered the town and continued on. Yeah, but there's a reason to. There's a reason why these individuals are burning the city. These individuals are pillaging. These individuals are killing people left and right. Why are they doing that? Oh, because they're crazy. Are they? Let's find out why. Oh, in their past, there was a militia that did the same thing that they're doing now. But why? There was an individual in the shadows with a black cloak. He destroyed those people. Excuse my dog. She's old. Her name is Nellie, and you're gonna hear her in the background. She's a great dog. But anyways, getting back to chaotic evil. I wanted to bring that up because chaotic evil, to me, in all alignments are important. They're so important in a Dungeons & Dragons game. D&D is beautiful with these alignments. Neutral, chaotic evil, chaotic neutral, lawful good, lawful neutral. Those are the things that make a game, that makes Dungeons & Dragons Dungeons & Dragons. But there's people that are going to say, well, you really don't need alignments, and we're going to play anyway. And if you're going to play, then fine. Then it's just not going to be me. But when you do play, know that an alignment is what makes your character. Because if you don't have them, eventually you're going to go all the way evil or go good. Neutral rarely happens. You can stay back and say, I'm not going to say a damn thing. I'm going to sit here and wait. I'm going to sit here and look. I'm going to sit here and wait for these events to happen. But you know what? It's up to you as a player, as a DM, to create that story, to unite everybody together as a whole. Individuals that go town to town and murder hobo, that's dumb. As long as you have a story and a conflict, a connection between all characters, the people that you meet, that's what makes a story good. A story, we all know, has a beginning, middle, and end. And in the beginning, you have the what happened to that chaotic evil character. Why did he kill those people at the end? But in the middle, of your story, it progresses. You find out why he's doing these things. And then at the end, you know that this person is ultimately evil. But then his memories go back into his past. Man, his family were murdered by people, by orcs, by elves, by whatever story plot, whatever plot you want to throw in. Those are the things that you as an individual, as DM, embrace. We're gamers. We're all gamers. We have a great time. And the main thing is to have fun. Number one thing is to have fun. Don't forget that. But when you're creating these stories as DM, understand that going into town and killing people left and right, hell no. We're talking about alignments. Alignments and how they work with story arcs. Chaotic evil is what we're talking about. Yeah, chaotic evil is one of the things that makes a game more interesting. I'd like to try it out in one of my campaigns. I want to try it out. I've talked to the guys already, and I said, hey, let's do it one time. We're talking about it. But understand that in a story arc, when you're using your players and all your players are chaotic evil, know that there's a reason that they are evil. Have an arc that creates some form of a plot. Bring it to the table. Bring it to your guys and say, hey, look, don't just go in and I'm gonna murder everybody. Don't go in and just say, I have a sword on my side, I've got a club, I want to go ahead and start maiming people without reason. Oh yeah, but you're playing an evil campaign. Yeah, but why? There's got to be a why. Of course, consequences on both sides. I love using consequences when you play either lawful good or chaotic evil. And when you're using consequences, it really brings in that story. It brings in everybody to level, no matter what alignment they're playing, or even if they're not playing in alignment, it brings them in. And I am against playing no alignments. I love to play alignments. It challenges you. For folks who just jumped on, we're talking about that. And I'm also talking about, if you hear a dog in the background, it's my dog Nellie. She's and she has arthritis in her hind legs. She's an old dog. She's gonna complain. So if you hear her in the background, sorry, it's just one of those nights. But we're talking about alignments, and how do you guys, let me know in the comments about alignments. Do you use them? As a player, will you pick lawful good, chaotic, whatever, neutral? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about alignments. And if you don't use alignments, how would you run it in your story? Let me know in the comments. I got a minute left in the show tonight. I started a little bit earlier than normal, but we're going to go back to our regular time next week, which is 11 p.m. Central. I know I gave it an earlier time a couple weeks, but I'm going to go back to 11 o'clock in the evening. So either way, tomorrow night, just to let you all know, episode 13, campaign 2. Join us on Playerole, 8 p.m. Central. And I'm on social media as well. I'm on Facebook. I'm also on U42, YouTube, Twitch TV, Kick. Check us out, please. I have a Discord as well. Join us. The guys and I have a great time. Remember, Dungeons and Dragons and everything is D&D, man. We have a great time. We love fantasy. The guys love fantasy. Have a good evening, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Like I said, get the word out. Let everybody know about Playerole. We're I'm not 100%. We're all quirky guys. We have a great time, and that's the number one thing. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.